Well, hello again, everybody. Jeff Rice, Luke Clayton here, bringing you another show, another adventure here.
Oh yeah,
good times, good times. Again, folks, we want to thank you all for watching our show. We really sure have a great time putting this stuff together, and today we've got some more good stuff.
We do, Jeff.
What do we got cooking today there, buddy?
We're gonna make some we'll call it wild hog. My wife says, you need to call it something else. We're gonna make some wild pork enchiladas. And I'm telling you what, folks, this stuff is good. I've made a lot of guisado in my life. Enchiladas, not so much. I smoked the meat overnight. And we've got it, it's a process, but it's real easy. Took the meat, and there's a certain enchilada, like a salsa verde, but a green enchilada sauce.
Okay. That
I'm gonna show you a picture of the can, $2 at the dollar store, wherever. Best stuff. It's so good you could get it cold and drink it. It's that tasty. But it's all about smoking this. It's a boar, about 175-pound boar that has some thick cut pork chops. Well, I trimmed just the prime meat.
So this is the tenderloin?
Yeah, it would be, except it was pork chops. I wish I'd have done the tenderloin now, or the backstrap.
Right.
That's what I should say, the backstrap. But I trimmed that up and trimmed all the fat off of it, and I seasoned it with this green enchilada sauce overnight. Cumin, garlic, salt, black pepper, a little lime juice I squeezed in there with it. And I let that meat smoke, and then I put that sauce in there with it. Let it smoke about an hour or two to give it that good smoke flavor.
Right.
And then put the liquid in there and all your seasonings. But I'll tell you, Jeff, that we're gonna test them out here. That's dinner, you know. But,
works for me.
And it's another, that was a boar, 175-pound boar that we shot down at, had a rider's hunt not too long ago, about 3 months ago.
Okay.
And they killed 3 down at Mark Billet's place, B&C Outfitters, 3 good-sized boar, 175 pounds average.
That's a good one.
Yeah, pretty good size. So we'll show how we did that.
Okay.
And I think that that'll give us a different way to put that wild pork to use, Jeff.
Alrighty. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to show you some of the finished product. And yes, dinner? Yes, dinner. I'm in.
Oh yes, we'll do it.
Lone Star Pawn and Bargain Center, 6509 I-30 on the Frontage Road in Greenville. Your one-stop shop for TVs, electronics, computers, and gaming systems. Lone Star Pawn offers a giant selection of hunting, fishing, outdoor gear, and firearms. We've got everything from lawn and garden equipment and job site tools to musical instruments. For the best deals and pawn rates in town, come see us on the south side of the Frontage Road in Greenville.
Need a part for the right price? Look for that red and blue sign, Henley Auto Supply, 1510 Stonewall. Over 800,000 CarQuest parts to choose from. Domestic, European, and Asian parts. Henley Auto Supply, 903-455-1969. 455-1969. Henley Auto Supply has the right part to keep your vehicle running. Backed by the best hometown service. Henley Auto Supply. Great people, great products, great prices. Henley Auto Supply and CarQuest.
Well, folks, we are here with the finished product, the enchiladas, the wild pork enchiladas. And I'll kind of walk them through, Jeff, the audio to tell them the pictures of the meat that actually cooked overnight, the wild pork, and then assembling these. And obviously, we're not going to take up all your time showing you the whole cooking process, but in your oven, 300 degrees for about 30 minutes, something like 350. You've got it.
I understand this is some pretty good stuff, huh?
Oh my gosh. Yep, so folks, you've got the picture. Wild boar, this could be venison, this could be store-bought round steak, whatever.
Yeah.
It will be good. In the smoker, the smoking text, overnight at about 190. I did smoke it for a couple of hours to get it a good smoke flavor. Then I covered this, a different pan, but I covered it. So the meat was smoked, and this morning, actually, this meat I took a fork, and I just forked it. It's so tender.
Just fell apart, huh?
Now, it cooked all night in Las Palomas green chili enchilada sauce. Now, I got this, I think my wife bought this at the dollar store. It is so good that you could drink it. You can get it. I tried it. I kept it cold.
Put a little tequila in there and call her good, huh?
Now there's an idea. No, this was just right out of the other can. No, but Las Palmas green chili enchilada sauce. Right, I don't know if you can read, but that's the can. Gotta have it. Now, I like green enchiladas, salsa verde, I love that. So, the meat, last night after it had smoked, I put about that much, about half this can in there with it. Cumin, garlic, a little lime, squeeze a little lime in there, salt, a little black pepper, just a little chili powder, not much, just a little chili powder. I think that's all I put in it. It's all I could find in, they say everything in the kitchen sink.
Right.
But anyway, that's basically what I put in there. Then I covered it last night and let it cook. So then basically we assembled these things and put them in the oven and baked them for about, I actually cooked them out in my little cooking shack out there.
Yeah.
I've got a little small propane oven that's really good, handy for that. And plus I get to, if I don't clean everything up just perfectly right, my wife doesn't give me a fit. She's a little finicky, in her kitchen. Okay, so simple enchiladas. You can go to YouTube and get 1 million recipes for making enchiladas. That's the way I did them. Mm-hmm. I like the salsa verde.
Let's see what you got going on there, Luke.
Let's see. I forgot to mention one thing: cheese.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. You have to have cheese, but you already know that to make enchiladas. Here we go. And I put some jalapenos in there, with the mix. So you want to get a good close
I'll
up.
walk it up there.
Walk that thing up there and let them
Still
see
nice and warm too. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That is good groceries.
Wild
Fantastic.
Boar. And I already
wild boar enchiladas.
And I had another little sapling, little deal of this that I made just to sample them. Jeff, you and your wife are going to be dining well tonight on these right here.
I'm in.
I think the smell. Again, we need smell of it. Anyway, so simple as that. Bingo.
There you go.
Wild hogs. Are wild hogs good to eat, Jeff?
Wild hogs are some of the best meat ever. It's funny because we talk about it. It seems like every week it's wild hogs. We're trying to make them this way and doing them that way. And you know what? Quite frankly, I don't know of a better meat. I really don't. And there's so many out there that you can go out and harvest a hog, and there's so many different ways to prepare it, and so many excellent ways to prepare it. And I don't think you'll find better meat, store-bought or anything, than that wild boar.
It's good, and of course it's pork. People think of a wild hog as being some exotic animal. It's just a hog. I mean, it's a feral wild hog. Now, granted, they're nothing like the ones that you find in the pen. They're muscled up, they're lean, they're not fat.
Right.
But that's what makes them good, Jeff. The meat is, I think that's
right.
the reason that they are that good. So, obviously, when you're hunting hogs, and I think this probably goes without saying, but if it's a good, fat, healthy animal, you can tell right off. If it's not, well, leave it in the woods. The cows will clean it up that night.
Yep.
But 95% of the hogs that we kill, and that I've killed in my career, which is a long one, 95% of them are good eating. And one other thing, Jeff, I used to think a boar, I really believe this, a boar over 150 pounds, you don't want to eat him. Well, the meat from this hog was about 175-pound boar, and it's good. It's just a matter of maybe it's a little tougher and you have to cook it a little bit longer, folks.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing I can tell you for certain is when it does come to, cooking wild boar or hog, you definitely want to make sure you bring it to the appropriate temperature. That's probably the most important thing when it comes to cooking this kind of meat. It's delicious stuff. There's a lot of ways to cook it, but folks, remember one thing: you've got to get this to probably 150.
Well, we'll go into that. That's worth talking about. The federal government changed that a while. It's a different recommendation from solid cuts. I think they say at 140. Now I always get everything up to at least 145. Usually if I'm trying to tenderize something, it's probably 180.
Yeah.
But it used to be, and then the ground meat is 160 still. I know that's right.
Yeah.
But I believe that the solid chunks is 140. The federal government says that's safe. But there again, I mean, it's going to be, if you just get it to 140, some of these cuts, they're going to be tough as heck. So
yeah.
Go ahead and cook them. As far as wild hogs carrying diseases, they do, I guess any animal does to a degree. Sure. Pseudo-rabies, swine brucellosis. I was setting up in Canada, folks, and I've told Jeff this about 3 years ago at a shore lunch next to a gentleman. And I've just written that book on Kill to Grill about hogs. And my buddy's wife was actually editing the book while we were up there in Canada. This lady, we started talking about hogs, and this gentleman, about my age, you know, he was sitting over here next to me, and she says, you know, my husband was the top swine, one of the top swine veterinarian medicine and biologist for the federal government for a long time. And he started talking.
Interesting.
I said, and don't think I didn't quiz him because I had somebody to, you know, but I said, how about trichinosis? I'm scared to death of trichinosis. You know, I was at the time and still am. He says, trichinosis is a third world country thing where hogs get into refuse and, you know, dumps and stuff like that, and then people eat the hogs. He said, I think he said, so this is about 3 years ago, in the U.S. there was something like 20, don't quote me on this, folks, but it wasn't many cases of trichinosis. So I thought, you know, well, they all, but if you heat that meat up, and I seldom ever do I cook pork that's not 160.
Right.
That's old school or whatever, but you basically have to get it that warm to get it tender, to break the fibers down.
Right. And one other thing, folks, you know, when it comes to hog hunting, you know, you can cook it to 140, 150, 160, 180, but if that hog was shot yesterday and it sat overnight in the woods and it's 80, 90, 100 degrees, don't cook it. Don't even mess with it. Let it go, because then you're asking for some problems.
You are. I mean, that's the same with a deer. Maybe not so much if you're in a real cold country deer hunting in the fall or winter. You might be able to get by with some.
You could if it's cool temperatures. Absolutely.
We used to have a tough time. I outfitted with Larry Large, a good friend of mine, for 6 years up in northern Colorado. Invariably, you know, archery season. It was during archery season, and killing elk would be like 10 minutes before legal shooting time ended. That elk would run up the mountain, and we'd find it a couple hours later, if we could find it.
Right.
But it's not uncommon on something like that to find it the next morning. And if it's not cold, like Jeff says, don't fool with it.
Don't mess with it.
It's a shame, but I mean, that's just...
It's not worth putting your health at risk to try to cook something that's been sitting out there and, you know, may already start the rotting process and you don't even realize it. So just be aware of that. Be aware that, you know, you should cook your meats to the appropriate temperature. And we're not just talking hogs, we're talking any kind of game. You know, it's kind of funny, but I'm very kind of particular about game. Yep. I clean my game very well. I make sure it's fresh. I vacuum seal things. You know, I take care of my meat. When that meat comes out of the freezer in a Ziploc bag, and I present it to maybe friends or family that's coming over to eat, I want them to look at that and go, wow, that looks really good.
Exactly.
In the package. You know, some people, they just throw it together and it doesn't even have a good presentation. You know, you want it to look good. And especially if you're inviting someone over to come eat that, you want it to look nice.
Exactly. Well, Jeff, I'll tell you, speaking of eating something, I think you and your wife are going to have some good victuals. So, you know, this has been fun.
It has.
It's always a fun show. 10,000 views in a couple of days, the last couple of weeks. Thanks again for watching it, folks. If you're on and this is on Facebook, it's also on YouTube, but mostly Facebook. I mean, 99% of the people.
Right. Or go to catfishradio.org. You'll be able to see, there's a link on your website.
Yeah, that is.
I know that because I put it there.
Yeah, you do all that.
And you can go to this week's show and watch it, and you can also click the other button and you can go to past episodes, and it'll take you right to Friendly News, and you can go in there and find all the shows. And we are up to, well, this show will be probably, what, episode 12, I think, by the time we get up to this one. So
That's right.
we really appreciate you guys tuning in every week and joining us for some fun out in the field, right?
Exactly, and we're always got our thinking caps on, and we have to get something new. But we're going to vow to keep it all fresh and not too rambling. Jeff and I have a tendency we've been buddies for a long time, and we have a tendency to quote ramble a little bit, talking when we're visiting, but. You're part of this deal, folks, so you can ramble with us.
That's right. Well, sometimes rambling comes good information.
That's right.
So keep that in your back.
Keep that in your pocket. Folks, that wraps up our little cooking section here of our show. Let's move forward and do a little hunting. Jeff has got some awesome hunting videos. He's really good at this. Let's watch a little hunting video.
Okay,
Jeff, what do you
we
say?
can do that.
All right.
All right, folks, we'll be back after this commercial.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with hassles. It can be that way again at Tire Pros.
Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Buck and Bass Ranch. I'm your host here, Jeff Rice. We're gonna go see if we can't do a little spot and stalk tonight. Take the bow. Feeders just went off probably 30 minutes ago. Got probably, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes of daylight left, so this is usually when they start moving. So I'm gonna just sneak in and perhaps walk up on some. If I can, I'll get the video going. Hopefully we'll get some video here, so stick with me here at the Buck and Bass Ranch. Hogs via stock. Well, we're back at the point of impact here, folks. Buck and Bass Ranch. As you saw, I snuck up on this little feller. Do not see my arrow. Oh, I do see my arrow, folks. Take a look, and there's blood on it for sure, so right there it is. Alright, let's take a walk over that way. Let's see what we can find. Okay, got the arrow out. Luminac has broke off. Blood. And I see footprints, and I see more blood. So he went right on through there, so let's Go see what we can find, folks. I am pretty darn sure I got a good shot on him. My guess is he wouldn't go far. I think he came through here. There's blood right there. That's pretty good blood. We got pretty good blood. He went this way. Always best to stay on a blood trail, if nothing else. Well, there's the next sign of blood there, so we found some more. He's hit hard. So we're gonna stick on with it, and we will be back momentarily. I've been finding blood, so we're just gonna stay on him. We'll be back. Well, we are on the East Fence Line Road. We have made our way. He went through there somewhere. All right. Let me keep on looking. Look at that. We've got a lot of blood here. Okay, he's right there. Oh my gosh. Well, there he is, right there. Look at that, we got us a boar. Road is right there. Perfect eater size too, my goodness. How about that, folks? Here to Buck and Bass. All right, we'll be back momentarily. Try to get him out of here while we got some daylight. Whew, awesome. Well, folks, welcome back to the Buck and Bass Ranch. A successful night here. That's what it's all about. Just sometimes, you know, don't need to sit in the blind. You know, grab your bow, grab your camera, which I had here, and head out in the woods. See if you can spot and stalk one. This one, obviously, I came into a feeder there 30 minutes or so after that feeder went off. I walked in, they weren't there, but I could hear them coming. It was like perfect timing. So, as you see on the video here, I think I picked out a perfect one, a young boar. He was like the last one to roll in, but anyway, we made it happen here tonight at the Buck and Bass Ranch. One porker for the smoker, and I'll call him bratwurst or something, sausage. He's going on the grill for sure. So, well, for another exciting boar hunt here at the Buck and Bass Ranch, we're going to say so long, and we will see you next time for more wild boar hunting action.
Being on the move used to be hassle-free. Find your way there again at Tire Pros.
Well, folks, again, thank you for joining us this week on this week's show, and we'll be back next week with another adventure.
Las Palmas.